Instagram Live, it's Karen. How are you? Thanks for joining me. A couple things today. I'm going to talk about a question that someone asked me that I think might help a lot of people. And I also want to read today's Courage to Change. I'm really enjoying this. So let's see, it's the Sunday the 28th. Once again, I haven't read it. I'm going to read it with you and we're going to figure it out together. June 28th. June 28th, Courage to Change. Here we go. Seatbelts on. Let's go. I always felt that my loved one's drinking was a terrible reflection on me. And I worried about what people thought. One day he told me he wanted to get sober. I was elated for a day until his next binge. Then I was devastated. Some months later, my loved one finally did go to AA. 2 days later, the drinking began again. The most important thing I've learned in Al-Anon since then is that my well-being cannot depend upon whether or not the alcoholic drinks. His behavior is not a reflection on me. It's a reflection of his disease. However, my behavior is a reflection of me. And I owe it to myself to pay attention to what it has to tell me. I have to take care of myself. I have to accept that alcoholism is a disease which can be arrested but not cured. Many alcoholics make a number of attempts at sobriety before actually getting sober. Others never do. My life is too important to waste waiting for someone else's choice, even when it's someone I love dearly. Today's reminder, no matter whether the alcoholic in my life is drunk or sober, the time to put energy into my own recovery is right now. Al-Anon helped me to focus my attention on what I could do about my situation instead of concentrating all my attention on what I thought the alcoholic should do. I was the one who had to take a stand. Well, this is a hard one. And I know I've got a friend on here right now whose loved one lost the battle. They lost their child. And so this is a hard one. And, I get it. First thing about being the reflection. So if someone you love is sick, they're sick. Okay? And you don't have to explain that to anybody. There are going to be people in your very own family that don't understand. Right? And you don't have to explain it. You really don't owe an explanation. Right? It's none of their business. I'll just tell you right now, everybody has fish to fry. I don't care what you see on social media. I don't care what you see on Facebook. Everyone's got their own fish to fry. And we should all be much kinder to each other, if you ask me. We make it appear like we don't, and we do. So don't worry about appearances. People know when someone's sick and they know it has nothing to do with you. That's really more about you and your own ego. But that up and down of someone getting sober and then they relapse and sober and relapse. Oh, God, it's exhausting. So you have to go. The reason I say go to Al-Anon and Nor-Anon is because Al-Anon and Nor-Anon are the constant. Okay? You're going to go to a club room, a group, a Zoom room, whatever it is, and you're going to see people every day. And the nice thing about that is even if your life is going down the toilet, you know that tomorrow at 7 a.m. you're going to see those people and they're going to be there at 5:30. It's a constant. Okay? It's a constant. Because that up and down, it's exhausting and it's not helpful to anybody. So you can't hook your star on someone else's wagon. Isn't that the way it goes? Hit your star on someone else's wagon. You can't do that. You can't live your life or your emotions or your feelings on someone else's behavior. They're going to have up days, they're going to have down days. Some days they're going to be drunk, some days they're going to be sober, right? You don't know. Even if they're sober, they might be assholes that day. Everybody's different. And it seems like once you get going with that, with someone that's an alcoholic addict, you do that with everybody. You know, when you go to work and you kind of subconsciously kind of try to figure out where your boss is at so you know what you're in for the day. Have you ever been in that situation? Kind of take the temperature of people around you. See, you don't need to do that. If you're taking care of yourself, if you're looking after yourself, it doesn't matter what's happening around you, right? Doesn't matter. You're going to be okay. You are going to be okay. Even if the worst possible scenario happens, you will be okay. If you are taking care of yourself, ask God for help, go to Al-Anon or Nar-Anon, you're going to be okay. All right? There's nothing you can do about, this really ties in great with the story. The second thing I was going to tell you about. I have someone who has contacted me. I think I told you the other day. I got a great message from someone in India. Can you believe it? I love that recovery is going around the world. And in their family, and of course you would have no idea who this is, so I can tell this example. But in their family, there's 2 parents and 2 children, and the children are adult, and they're all living together. The one of the kids just moved back home because his wife kicked him out because he's drinking too much. So you got this little family dynamic going. And I think the other sibling is kind of like this reading. How does this make us look? You know what I mean? How is this? This is horrible, right? This is awful. Why aren't my parents kicking him out? Why would they put up with this, right? And they contacted me and said, if his wife kicked him out, shouldn't that mean my parents kick him out? And I said, well, first thing, if you're all adults, if you're not happy, move out, right? This is their house, and it's their son, and it's none of your business. So much of this Al-Anon stuff it's just none of your business, right? So, okay, they got that. And I said, you need to go to Al-Anon, because obviously you've got some Al-Anon issues around your sibling and your parents. And, why are you living there as an adult? Well, I'm getting married in December, and then I'm moving on. Okay, great. Then mind your own business. You know what I mean? It's really hard. But if your parents aren't ready, to go to Al-Anon or any kind of tough love, or they even want to hear about it, other countries, it's a lot different. It's a lot different depending on religions, race, demographics, where you live, about having your adult children live with you, taking care of alcoholics and addicts. I mean, a lot of religions, they demand you to do it. I mean, so just because in America we're like, get out, that's not the case everywhere. So I said, if your parents aren't willing to do that, you need to mind their own business, because it is their kid, right? And if they want to take care of him till the day they die or he dies, it's really none of your affair. If you don't like it, get out, right? So that was all understood. Okay, great, I got it. They're not ready, so I'm just gonna go to Al-Anon. And they were going to some Al-Anon because I had suggested it a while ago. So then I get the message that, okay, my parents found a bottle in his pocket. He had said he wasn't drinking, and they kicked him out. Okay, yay, problem solved, right? You'd think. But no. The sibling said, now they flip sides. I'm so worried about him. I'm not sure they should have done that. You know what I mean? I think he's living in an abandoned house right now, and I don't think he can deal with this pain, right? So I, being an alcoholic, I got the double-edged sword. Codependency, alcoholic addict, right? So I told him, okay, first thing, your parents made the decision, right? It's their house. They get to make the decisions. You back them up, right? Don't say anything. And your sibling is not suffering. He's drunk. So we just drink more and blame everybody else. So it's not like when I don't know how to explain this, but when you're the codependent and you're worried about someone, you're worried about how you would feel. You're not an alcoholic addict. You have no idea that we are totally capable of flipping the script around and making you the problem. It's not going to be our fault. We're not going to be in pain. First thing, if I'm feeling in pain, I'm going to drink more or I'm going to drug more. I'm not going to be in pain. And if it seems like I might have done something wrong, I'm going to blame someone else. So it's part of the disease. I'm not suffering as much as you are. Does that make sense? So I told him, first thing, not in pain. This might be the thing that saves his life, some consequences. And I'm not saying that this will save his life. I'm not saying that this is not going to end badly. But it wasn't working before. What you were doing wasn't working before. It's time to try something different, right? Let God have a chance at this. By him living in this abandoned house, maybe God can get to him now that the parents and the siblings out of the way, right? Let God have a crack at this thing. It wasn't working before. Maybe this won't work. I don't know. But something's got to change, right? So codependency is tough. It is not for the weak. You know what I mean? This recovery. You got to have a strong group of people around you. You have to have a program of recovery. You need to do the steps in Al-Anon, right? So that you can clearly see what's going on here. Because when you're in it, like this person who texted me a couple days ago, I thought, well, they are going to be thrilled if the parents kick him out. They even said to me, maybe I should kick him out. My parents can't seem to do it. Maybe I'll do it. 2 days later, my parents kicked him out. I think this is a big mistake. Do you see what I mean? It's crazy. It's hard to see what's happening because your own feelings are it's so codependent, right? So the answer I gave back to this person was the same as before. I said, no, okay, if you're not happy, move out. If you're holding out until December when you get married, then just be helpful around the house. Take out the trash, do the dishes, keep your own space clean, and mind your own business, right? Try to support your parents in the house. And if you don't like your parents and your parents are manipulative or whatever their problem is, there's blah, 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 blah. Who cares? You're still living under their roof. What happened to that? What happened? When I was a kid, you moved out. My parents, for my high school graduation, gave me luggage. High school luggage. I was like, oh my God, is this a hint? Yes, it's a hint. It's time for you to go. If you want to live here, then you need to pay rent. You're working. You're not living here working and just banking cash, right? You're going to pay some rent. And I thought, well, if I pay rent, I might as well live in my own place, right? Where I don't have to succumb to this parental control, right? So it was a different world. Now people come back. Kids come back and they come back home and they live in the house and they bring their kids and all of a sudden the parents are, you got luggage too. Isn't that the craziest thing? What a gift is that? That was like, oh my God. But anyway, they come home, they bring their children. Now you're raising their kids. You're paying their bills. They got cell phone bills. You know what I mean? What happened to just mind your own business? Move out, get your own place. If you're not happy, don't live there, right? That's the key. Even alcoholics and addicts. If you are an active alcoholic addict, and you are at your parents' house, you are living there, and you don't like it because they're putting the smack down on you, then get the fuck out. It's not that hard, right? Oh, but you don't want to go because you want to drink and use. You want to sleep till noon, and you want to do what you want to do. But they don't get to tell you that there's a curfew, you got to help around the house, and you need to pay the fucking rent. And then you say, oh my God, these people don't understand. No, this is craziness. Alcoholism, codependency, it's crazy. I mean, it's like watching some, these shows on TV now drive me crazy. They're so dysfunctional. I won't watch any of it. It's like, oh God, it's crazy dysfunction. So, it's hard. It's hard. And I know it's difficult, and that's why you got to have help with it. You got to have help. I mean, this person contacted me. I'm so glad they're contacting me. I don't blame them at all. They don't know. And they're going to Al-Anon, right? And they're having these kind of issues with, well, what if he's in pain? What if he can't take it? What if he kills himself, right, in this abandoned house? And this isn't even this person's children or spouse. It's their sibling. You know what I mean? So this stuff runs deep when you start feeling responsibility for other people and you start thinking that this has something to do with how it makes you look. It doesn't. It's an illness. It's a deadly, deadly illness. And if it doesn't just kill the person you love, it's going to kill you too. So you have to seek help. By seeking help, you will be the biggest help to your loved one. I don't know how I can explain that more. But the biggest form of love you can show someone who's in active addiction is to get yourself some help. Yourself, not them. Get yourself some help. Go to Al-Anon, go to Nar-Anon, work the steps, get a therapist. I don't care how you do it. Get some help, because you're helping yourself and backing away and stopping that dance could save their life. It's definitely going to push them towards a faster bottom. Okay? So this is tough stuff, I know, and you don't have to do it alone. Ask God for some help. Direct my thinking. I love you all, and I'll see you later.